KETV News Watch 7 takes an in-depth look at stories impacting our community. Stories making a difference. Stories that matter to you. This is KETV News Watch 7's Chronicle.
Mentoring is a form of support.
And that support is greatly needed across the metro. 150 area kids want a mentor through Big Brothers Big Sisters, but not enough adults are stepping up.
I at least want every kid to know that someone cares.
It'd be nice to contribute in whatever little way we can.
Volunteers of all ages are needed as positive role models to encourage kids along the way and help them reach their goals. Good morning, I'm Jeremy Maskell, and welcome to KETV News Watch 7's Chronicle. This morning, we're looking at the unmet need for mentors, talking with kids who depend on that connection to stay out of trouble. And there are plenty of success stories of making a difference through mentoring. Dating all the way back to 1991, the guiding force for Nebraska football sets upon a new mission. Tom Osborne and his wife Nancy offer a guiding hand to kids at risk. 2 decades later, the Teammates Mentoring Program is a success by many measures. KETV News Watch 7's Andrew Ozaki on the Osborne legacy defined by changed lives.
Riding high on life, Eddie Brown and his part-time passion as lead singer of the cover band Defunct. His day job, running the insurance agency he's owned for the past 6 years. But he says all this could have taken a terribly different turn.
You could be visiting me behind bars right now. I could be through my first or second rehab program.
Brown remembers that day in 1991 when a counselor at Goodrich Junior High School approached him about participating in a brand new program called Teammates.
Well, I know Miss Stokes was trying to save me. And ultimately he did.
It was the idea of then head Nebraska football coach Tom Osborne and his wife Nancy. 2 students from each of Lincoln's junior high schools were selected and paired with Husker football players. Brown's mentor, star I-back Derek Brown.
Brown goes 32 yards.
When I found out, it was Derek Brown, I was on cloud 9.
The players spent time with the kids, sometimes going to the Irving Rec Center, having a dinner or movie, talking to them about school and life.
And he's like an older brother looking out for me and, making sure that I was getting my schoolwork done.
It paid off for Matt Moore. He has been a fire claims adjuster for State Farm Insurance for the past 18 years. He's married and has recently decided to go back to college and get his bachelor's degree.
I wouldn't be where I was at if it wasn't for somebody when I was 13 years old, through high school, taking the time to make sure that I'm doing good in school and getting good grades.
Brown says he could talk to his mentor about how to deal with the racial slurs he would encounter in school, name-calling that got him into fights and in trouble.
If you do retaliate physically, that's going to take you off the track and the path that you are intended to be on, wanting to be on. People are praying for you to be on.
Brown and the other students made a promise not to use alcohol or drugs and not to have a child out of wedlock.
Both of those promises that I was able to live up to have kept me on a better path of life.
If the students did well and graduated, Teammates would help pay for their college education. Seeing Moore get his high school diploma was especially gratifying for Steve Volan, his mentor.
I would say it was probably one of the proudest moments of my time at the university. Makes me feel good.
From those initial 22 students, 21 graduated on time from high school. 18 went on to college.
And if that had not worked out well, I'm sure we would not have tried to expand Teammates, but we were really encouraged by the result.
And it didn't just help those being mentored.
They instilled the seed in which I dedicate my life today doing.
Calvin Jones was one of the original mentors. He now coaches and helps thousands of kids. He says that experience of helping someone else helped him get through some tough times in his life.
Because until he instilled that seed in me when I was a freshman, I would have never had that to come back to.
The Teammates program has grown to 6,000 teens in Nebraska and Iowa. Mentors now meet with students an hour a week only in the schools. But those original teammates have left their mark.
I think they were the pioneers, they were the ones that kind of set the path for us and really, made it successful.
You don't want to mess up because we're aware that we're associated forever with this great program.
In Lincoln, Andrew Ozaki, KETV News Watch 7.
Matt Moore is on track to graduate from Doane College this December. He and his mentor Steve Volan remain friends, and Volan says he will be there when Moore gets his diploma. And that lifelong relationship is what dozens of area kids long for. Of the 150 kids who want a big brother or a big sister, nearly half live in Northeast Omaha. But the organization serves 7 counties in all, and we're joined now by a big and little pair from the organization, Big Brothers Big Sisters, Geroderick and Rusty Kilpatrick. Gentlemen, thanks so much for joining us this morning.
Thanks for having us.
We appreciate you being here. And JD, I'll start with you. Tell me a little bit about yourself, what grade you're in and what you like to do.
I'm a freshman at North High. I like playing football, basketball, and I'm waiting to play baseball. I like playing games.
And 3 years ago, you were matched with Rusty. Why did you and your mom sign up for Big Brothers Big Sisters?
Well, because I didn't really spend my time wisely. Like, I stayed at home, always bored in my room, never went outside. I used to live right down the street from a park, and I never went to it. And my mom was like, you need to start using time wisely. She was like, I'm gonna get you a mentor. Like, okay, and signed up.
I love it. Rusty, I want to bring you in. Why did you, as a young adult, sign up for Big Brothers and Big Sisters?
The community that I grew up in needs help, and I wanted to give back. I got to an age where I started to establish my career, and I had a little bit more free time. I had a lot of people in my life that contributed to where I am now in positive ways, and I wanted to do the same.
And you're a North High graduate yourself.
Yep, Viking through and through. You got it.
And so tell me, when you signed up, was it kind of nerve-wracking to know that you're going to be matched with this young adult who's going to be looking up to you?
Maybe a little bit at first. There's a sense of responsibility that comes with it, but I think that the benefit that I knew I would get from it and that my community would get from it outweighed those nerves.
Well, JD, when you first met Rusty, what was that like the first couple times you hung out?
It was kind of weird because I never left out the house with somebody I never knew, and we learned a lot of new things.
So tell me about some of the things you two have done together in the time you hang out.
Well, we go do a lot of things. We ate sushi for the first time. I did not want to do that. I was scared. We went to amusement parks. First time riding a roller coaster. So scared. I didn't want to ride it, the Mamba.
And you've been to some football games, is that right?
Yep. A couple of Husker games. We went to a hockey game and a baseball game and the opening of the new baseball park, the TD Ameritrade baseball park.
So JD, you have done so many things for the first time through Big Brothers Big Sisters with Rusty. What would your life be like today if Rusty had not been a part of it?
I don't know. I'd probably been failing, not really wanting to finish school, really stay at home, never go out. A lot of things I wouldn't have, a lot of things I wouldn't have done.
What does that make you think, Rusty, when you hear that?
A lot of emotions. I mean, there's a sense of pride to see how far he's come. A sense of pride in knowing that the community's becoming a better place. And also a little bit of excitement, because when young people from our community become better people, they make the community better in the future too. We have young people that can make the community a better place going forward.
And your motivation at first was very service oriented, but what have you taken from the experience of being a Big?
I would say that the things that I benefit the most from, aside from the relationship, would be that JD keeps me young. We all have a tendency to slip into the different things that we find to be important, but when we have the conversations that we do, it helps me to keep perspective on the world that young people live in, and to be mindful of it and to be engaged in it.
And I want to talk about some of the logistics of Big Brothers Big Sisters, because I think a lot of people are kind of daunted by the pressures of what it may be, but really talk about some of the support systems that Big Brothers Big Sisters has in place and the activities they plan for you guys.
Absolutely. A lot of people are overwhelmed or intimidated when they consider it. They think that it might be a large time commitment, or that there's a lot of maybe red tape that they have to get through to get into the process. But the reality is that Big Brothers Big Sisters, the staff in place there is phenomenal. They're there for you every step of the way. They're always there to answer questions, and they're some of the hardest working people that I've ever come across.
And talk about some of the different events that they have that oftentimes are free for you guys to show up to and join in on.
Any holiday that you can think of, there's usually an event that surrounds it. There's a Christmas party where you can go and make Christmas cookies and play games and win prizes. The St. Patrick's Day parade. Any holiday that you can think of, there's generally an activity that's free and that has things that you can go do where you can take your mind off everything outside of the event itself and just hang out.
Pretty cool. And JD, we have a clip from an interview we did with your mom talking about what she has to say about the match here. Let's take a listen.
From where he was when he started, it's a magnificent change.
JD, a magnificent change. What do you think when your mom says that about you?
She's right. It was a big change. There's a lot of things I did differently, a lot of things that happened.
So you're getting out of the house, you're going to school, you're motivated in school. What's next for you with Rusty's help and support and your mom's support and everything moving forward?
Hopefully college.
Do you think you'd be looking at college without?
Without Rusty? Probably not. But now I have him, yeah.
What does that mean to you to hear?
Like I said, a lot of emotion. We actually got an opportunity to give him the taste of college. Last summer, he got to go down to a camp at the University of Nebraska at Lincoln for an architecture camp. And so for the first time, he got to be away from home by himself, stayed in the dorms with a bunch of other high school students, got to participate in college activities with professors and professional architects. And when we went there, he was terrified, and he'll admit it. He didn't want me to leave, really, because he was a little overwhelmed with the process, but by the time I'd come back a week later to pick him up, he was just enamored with everything there. He didn't want to leave, he didn't want to come home, and so watching that seed get planted and watching it grow has been quite the experience.
So JD, if there is a young adult out there watching this morning that is thinking about being a mentor but hasn't signed up yet, what would you say to them?
Sign up. It's a lot of fun. Learn a lot of new things about someone you don't know. Get to know someone new, I guess.
And Rusty, how about you? What would you say to other people, peers of yours out there that aren't signing up yet but are thinking about it?
I would say to take a look at the world around you and decide if you want to make a meaningful impact, and if so, pull the trigger, because it'll be one of the best decisions that you can possibly make without question.
And when you hear that 150 kids across 7 counties are waiting for mentors through Big Brothers and Big Sisters in the Midlands, what do you think of that?
Personally, it breaks my heart, because I know what those kids are longing for and how they can be impacted, and to know that either it'll be a while before they can experience that or that they may not is pretty heartbreaking.
Well, it's an important issue, and I appreciate JD and Rusty, you both coming in this morning to talk about it.
I'm glad to be here.
And our discussion of the importance to the area of mentoring is far from over. It's one of the main missions of several community groups trying to make a difference.
From where he was when he started, it's a magnificent change.
A closer look at the need for mentors and how you can help when KETV News Watch 7's Chronicle continues. And the Empowerment Network started in 2006. Ever since, it's aimed at making all of Omaha a better and safer place to live. This year, mentoring is one of the group's top 10 priorities.
That's really where the game changes, is when individuals and families get involved and do their part. That's really what we're focusing on this year, is mobilizing more people.
And even more people have benefited from the Empowerment Network. Its summer jobs program, Step Up, helped hundreds of people find work last year, even after summer jobs were over. And joining us this morning, 2 people who are passionate about the need for mentoring in this community. Willie Barney with the Empowerment Network and Deb Neary with the Midlands Mentoring Partnership. Thank you both for being here.
Thanks for the opportunity.
Well, Willie, I want to start with you. Talk to me a little bit about how mentoring fits into your organization's overall mission.
Yeah, it's a big part, as I mentioned, that it's really about mobilizing more people to get involved and do their part. It's a big part, personal responsibility. There's something that each person can do. So whether it's with the summer job program or in the schools or in the neighborhood,
When caring adults work with youth and young adults to help them understand their potential and what they can do and get exposed to the possibilities, you just see people's lives change. And so it's so encouraging to hear about some of the new mentors that are stepping up, but we need so many more now to get involved and get engaged.
Well, and we talk about half of the kids who are waiting on that Big Brothers Big Sisters list being in Northeast Omaha, but really one thing you and I talk about a lot is this is a community-wide issue.
Absolutely, absolutely. We see the need not only in North Omaha but around the city, and what's really encouraging is we are seeing people, more and more people step up, and when they do and they get involved and they get the experience working with the young person and begin to see the results, and they see them graduate from high school or become interested in college, it's a tremendous need in our community, but I'm excited to see that the experiences that people are having has been positive, it's making a difference, and now we just need more people to get step in and get involved.
It is pretty cool, and Deb, I want to bring you in on that. Let's talk a little bit about, explain to me what Midland's Mentoring Partnership does.
You know, we're not a mentoring agency, as some would think from our name, but we actually are a collaboration of a lot of different mentoring agencies. There's so many different ways to mentor, be involved, so many types of mentoring, different audiences that are reached, and we just try to help mentors find the right organization for them and mentees.
And talk a little bit about the research, because this really is a proven path to success for kids to have somebody outside the family involved in their life.
There is more than 20 years of research that shows mentoring works. There's research that shows academic improvement for youth that have a mentor, improvement in attendance and more positive attitudes towards their parents and adults, and also decrease in risky behaviors. I mean, the research is all there. We just need, as Willie said, more people to step up and help become mentors.
Well, and I want to touch on that a little bit, Deb, because you talk about parents. A lot of the parents I've come into contact with through mentoring groups are active, engaged, caring, but they recognize that these kids need a little more.
Yeah, there's all sorts of kids that have mentors, and for many different reasons. There isn't just one reason. I mean, if somebody has an interest in art, say, no matter what family they come from or where they live, there's a great, Kent Bellows Studio does an amazing mentoring program, and so there's just so many different reasons that kids can benefit from a mentor, but there's just a lot of kids that are facing additional challenges in their life. I mean, just in Omaha, or Douglas and Sarpy alone, we have over 30,000 kids living below the poverty level. I mean, these are families that are facing enormous challenges, and just having another positive adult role model can make a huge difference.
Well, and Willie, I want to bring you back in. Talk a little bit about how that fits into keeping safer streets, better graduation rates, so many things like that.
Absolutely. One of the things I wanted to mention too is that there's so many different ways you can do it. You can do group mentoring, one-on-one mentoring, so many different ways. So if you're more comfortable being inside of a school or being at a particular organization, but we have seen, as the research shows, when caring adults are involved, you see violence go down, you see people see opportunities, getting more involved, more likely to apply for an employment opportunity. People get connected, and that's really what it's all about. If every one of us looks back in our lives, whether it was a coach or an individual or a person that took an interest and was right beside us to help us make sure we stayed on the right track, that's really what we're talking about. Sometimes I think when people hear the word mentor, they get maybe intimidated, but it's really about caring and spending some time and helping guide and direct a person. But it makes a huge difference. And when people say we want safer streets, safer communities, mentoring is one of the most important things that people can do to make that happen.
Well, and why is mentoring so important, in addition, maybe even on top of other crime prevention issues like prayer walks and things like that in our community? Because it comes before things happen.
Yeah, absolutely. It's on the prevention end. It's on the prevention side. All of those things make a difference when you have faith community involved, the police department involved, neighborhood associations involved. It all makes a difference, but the biggest thing is a caring adult right alongside that person, helping them, guide them, keeping them in the right direction, and for the main part, keeping them off a negative track in the first place. The better thing is to prevent, invest that time and energy, and we will see even greater results when that happens.
If just in Big Brothers Big Sisters, those 150 kids got a mentor in this year, 2013, and were more likely to graduate, more likely to engage in safe behavior, how would this community be changed in the generation to come?
It's changing right now. I want to emphasize there are people that have begun to step up. We're beginning to see results from that. But imagine what's possible when hundreds, if not thousands more people get involved and do this. Our community is changing right now. We really stress that Omaha has been recognized as a great city, but imagine when more people get involved and it's a great city in every single zip code. And mentoring is one of the fundamental ways to make that happen. There's no question. The research has proven it out. It works. It just simply works. We just need more people doing it.
I love that excitement. Willie and Deb, what should somebody think about if they're wondering about becoming a mentor on any level?
You know, that it is just the simplest thing, and it can fit into your life. It really can be just a normal part of your life. It doesn't have to take extra work. Just doing what you're already doing and involving a youth in those activities, whether it's going to the grocery store or whatever. And it's just being a friend. I mean, these kids aren't looking for another parent or a tutor or a teacher, or, I mean, this is really just about friendship, and everybody benefits. You know, it's like you just hear so many great stories from mentors who, I mean, their lives have been changed.
What is the biggest thing for you to see when these matches through whatever organization really take hold and make change?
Well, there's so many great stories about mentors that have been changed, but, you know, back to your question about, you know, how is this generation going to be changed? Well, Tom Osborne tells this amazing story about how his grandfather, if it hadn't been for a mentor in his grandfather's life, that he would not be in the position he's in today. I mean, it isn't just one generation we can change with mentors. I mean, we're changing entire families, entire landscapes, and it's so exciting to see.
And it can be as simple as spending an hour a week with somebody.
And that's all it is. It's that simple.
And for a lot of these organizations too, Deb, they do surveys beforehand to kind of match like minds, like interests.
That's right. It's all about, yes, making sure that that match is going to be successful. We don't just put anybody together. And, you know, if you're a dog lover, we make sure that you're involved with somebody else that, you know, has that same affinity. So, yeah, there's a lot that goes into making sure it will be successful.
All right. It's got to be pretty exciting to see this take shape, Willie.
Yeah, the thing that's really exciting is that individuals are stepping up, and we need more of them. Organizations are working together. There's more collaboration going on now, and we're seeing the results of it. Tangible, measurable results. It's an exciting time to be involved in this, an exciting time to be in Omaha. We can make great things happen. I mean, think about that. Making a phone call, talking to Midlands Mentoring, they can match you up with the right organization, the right individual. The people are there, and it's just a matter of stepping out and getting involved. But this is a wonderful time to be involved in what's happening in Omaha.
All right. Willie Barney and Deborah Neary, thanks so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you.
And first, a reminder, your comments are an important part of this show. We received several messages on last week's show regarding foster care and children on the verge of aging out. Like this one from Stephanie Palladino. She says, quote, I certainly hope the legislature votes to extend the age and gives them the funding they need to make this work. I will be encouraging my representative to get on board, end quote. And Dorothy Casero raises a good point too, saying, quote, many people give to charities, but they often expect it to work miracles without any personal interaction or awareness of what it takes for the long haul in helping people up the ladder. Thank you both for your comments. And remember, if you want to be heard, there are two ways you can do it. You can call us directly at 402-978-8960. Remember to speak clearly, as we may use your comments on the air. Also, try to be brief. To email your comments, just go to KETV.com, click on the Chronicle link. Remember, we love to hear from you. We'll be right back. Welcome back. This morning, we've discussed the need for mentoring in the Metro and its impact on many lives, not only on one teenager and as big, but the community as a whole. You can get involved right now and make a real difference. Big Brothers Big Sisters is always looking for new volunteers. Like we mentioned, dozens of kids, 150 exact, are just waiting for a mentor of their own. We've linked to its website, along with the Midlands Mentoring Partnership, Teammates, and the Empowerment Network. Thank you for joining us this morning for KETV News Watch 7's Chronicle. I'm Jeremy Maskell, and thank you to my mentors who helped me get here today. We sure hope to see you right back here next Sunday morning.